What is up? We're back with the Based Reality podcast episode. I think we're on 5 right now.
Five. I want to say five. The
Yeah,
big O 05.
back in the car. This is just the week where I figure out the audio issues.
Unlikely, but we'll find out.
The mic is closed, the blue light is on. I actually set it to the right frequency in the app.
It's a learning process, I should say.
Thought I had it right last week, but didn't realize the frequency mattered. Justin's a nerd and had to
Had to what?
had to start doing school like a dork.
God forbid I want to further myself.
Yeah, you can't just keep hiding behind being a good dad forever.
Exactly. I gotta have some other redeeming quality.
Yeah, like this podcast.
Yeah, sure. Very
But
redeeming.
what do you want to talk about McDonald's again?
I mean, that seems to be our go-to. That seems to be our breadbasket, our money winner.
Hey, we're not qualified in anything else.
Yeah, if you look at my resume, there's nothing I'm really qualified in, other than I have a forklift certificate. I'm certified in that. So
Oh yeah.
if that does anything for anyone.
But yeah, let's talk about McDonald's. Why I always want to go into like why McDonald's workers deserve way more money than they get credit than they people think they should. I always based it on the whole free market principle. If like you can sucker somebody into, if you can convince someone as a McDonald's worker to give you 25 an hour, and they openly tell you yes, more power to you.
I don't know if I would say they deserve way more. I believe it should be above minimum. I mean, people will give you the argument, minimum skill, minimum requirement to pay them. But I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but
not the skills that they have going into the job; it's the skills they learn through the
yeah,
job.
but you could just be an OnlyFans model and make money off the little simps in your neighborhood, and that requires zero skill.
I mean,
That was always my whole point. I'm like, there's other jobs. Like I've done a desk job where it said the requirement was, oh, you have to type 90 or not 90, like 45 words a minute, but then you go in there and the girl who's making like 15 an hour doing a desk job and like it's like 2019 doesn't even know how to type. They're hunting and pecking with like little,
oh, that's
or they're just doing two fingers. And I'm like,
that's cringy to think about.
like you're thinking, okay, they actually took a typing class, but then you realize, no, this is just a 50-year-old woman. And also, on a side note, like this one older lady was like in her 50s or 60s when I got there. She was like, I think she didn't know how to drag and drop a file into an email.
That's that seems pretty common sense in the name drag and drop. But
Yeah, but she was like old to the point. I remember like I'd worked there for like 4 months, and it was almost like we asked like she's not really that good at this job. She's just really a nice person. How come you guys don't give her crap? And it sounds like she shows up to work. She doesn't give that much grief.
she shows up when she's supposed to and does what she's supposed to do. She's not necessarily good at it, but she does it.
Yeah, she's not bad, but she doesn't like. She's like she doesn't really make bad errors. And it was a customer service job, and no one wanted to do it. But why do McDonald's workers deserve more money? Because I mean, you have to do weird things like clean the grill, and allegedly you were supposed to get a mask to do it because of the fumes that went back
Yeah,
on you. But
PPE and stuff.
I remember the one person who was in charge of it was like, "Oh, this is actually the mask," but I've never actually showed. I never give it out to anyone, even though you're supposed to wear it. But I don't actually know when you clean a grill at a bigger restaurant, do they give you an actual mask? Do they?
I don't know. I've never really worked in a bigger restaurant that would require grill cleaning and stuff like that. I worked in another restaurant one time before. It was another chain restaurant. They wanted to be like a casual place, but they weren't really that quality of a casual place. And the cleaning procedure was just since it was a gas grill, it wasn't like a flat top like the McDonald's grill. Sorry, it was just more
What
of
chain restaurant did you work at?
it was bonefish.
Oh, when was this?
It was for like a couple months. It was terrible.
How long ago was that? You never told me that.
Yeah, because it was terrible. There was no point in bringing it up. I worked there for like a month.
What year?
2024? Beginning of 2024 was like for February of 2024.
Oh, okay. Oh,
No, 2023. Sorry, I'm really bad with years and stuff like that. Was it 20? I don't remember. No, it's 2024.
but no, but McDonald's is like you do all these things, like especially when we did the overnights where there's three people doing the job of like
A whole crew.
a whole crew, and then you have to like make the food and then also serve it, but then you're also the cleaning person.
You know, that's something that I've never really thought about either. Was the fact like most places when you have like you have different shifts like McDonald's did. Like they have their morning, their afternoon, and their night and
Yeah.
overnight shifts. Most places have like a shift differential because of how it affects your sleep schedules and like the things that are required of you in that
Well,
position.
McDonald's didn't do it because they didn't do like rotating overnight people. It was the same overnight
Well,
people.
no, but like I've worked at other places where if you're just an overnight shift, you still get paid more because of
Oh.
the things that are required of you to do, which would make sense
Yeah,
because
I mean, you should have got. I think you should have got the shift differential more on the nature of what you were doing because you were doing more cleaning and other things at the end of the day. Because the sleep schedule didn't matter because as long as you were always, because most of the, oh, everyone was just straight overnight. So it was like that was just your normal shift. Your sleep schedule wasn't getting messed with because then it just when you got home and went to bed at like,
but 7:38 in the morning.
yeah, like you go to bed at 7:38 and wake up at like 4. Although the best way to do it was like almost probably like how you would sleep for a normal job would be go to bed at like noon. But then you had stuff to do during the day. Did
Yeah.
you ever notice working overnight that if you had off for like 2 days afterwards, it almost felt like you had like an insane amount of time off in your head, even though it was the same amount
Mm-hmm.
for a normal job, just because actually working like 5 to 2 was like is like way more. That was more cruel than doing overnights.
Yeah, I hated that.
And I never understood the whole 5 to 2 thing, but that was like for what, one manager and like the one opening grill person.
Not even because the opening grill person wasn't even supposed to be in until like 6:30.
No, but the opening grill person used to come in at 5, but I think after a while they didn't do it till 6.
At one point, they weren't doing it till like 6:37 because I remember when I was the opening manager, I would come in and I would open, and then when the next shift manager would come in at like 6 o'clock, 6:30,
Yeah,
that's when the other person would. That's when the overnight crew would
I
leave. Would be
think when
about
I started
6.
there was like an older woman who used to come in at 5, but that was just because she liked to.
Yeah. No, because I remember I would be in charge of running up the front area until about 6 when the next manager would come in and start doing their pre-shift. The grill people would leave, and sometimes they wouldn't even give me a morning grill person. They would leave me to cover the grill and also start picking up the pre-shift for the next manager
Or the grill person leave?
at 6. Yeah, they would. Sometimes they wouldn't give me a 6 o'clock grill person.
So who ran the front?
The overnight person would help me because they were there till 6:30. The
Oh,
overnight manager, so they would help me run the front while I do the grill and start getting the pre-shift.
oh, really? 6? I was always scheduled till 6.
I think that was on like Saturdays and Sunday, like the Friday into Saturday morning, and Saturday into Sunday morning. They would have the overnight manager there later.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right about the shift differential though. Like they wouldn't even give you like a. It's not even that they wouldn't give you $15. They didn't even want to give you a quarter half the time.
No, I remember I started working at McDonald's at 7.67 an hour. I was there for I want to say 5 years. It only went up to 9.75, so I only got $2 worth of raises in 5 years, and that's going from a crew person to a manager.
Which is weird because I think most jobs give you like a quarter to a 50-cent raise just as like a cost of living increase.
Yeah.
And then most jobs based on your individual performance would give you like $1.
Well, I remember when they would do our performance reviews at McDonald's, the best you could get out of that would be like
A
a
quarter.
quarter. Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought it was a cost of living. She's like, no, I have to approve it. But I'm like, a quarter is a. I would tell them like, every other because I started working on the job, I was like a second job. I was like, a quarter is the cost of living increase for any other job. It's like my only skill at the other job is that I can type.
Yeah,
The same job we worked at, but I won't bring them up
yeah.
because I don't know if they're still
They're still tricky.
controlled by the same weird religion that has lawyers. We don't bring them up.
We won't bring them up by name, but we'll let you figure it out.
No one will figure it out. There's like a million jobs like that.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about the job. I was more so
We
talking
could
about
also
religion.
we could also be saying we were like Texas A&M boosters doing their midnight rallies.
I wish I
You've
was in
heard
something
about
that
that?
cool.
You've heard
I've
about
heard
that?
about that. Yeah, I just
Yeah, where Texas A&M is like a borderline cult because it's like they just do these weird midnight rallies, and also they're convinced that they're more historically relevant of a program. In their head, they're more historically relevant than the rest of the public thinks they are.
yeah,
When if you actually probably look back, they're probably as relevant as the University of Wisconsin. They just like the fact that it says Texas in front of them.
yeah. Well, everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah. But no, but overnights was crazy because you'd have to, like we've said in other episodes, you have to pull out all the.
All the
Uh,
equipment essentially has to be pulled out, cleaned under, scrubbed if no one's been keeping up with it. You would have to all the dishes that would be done because the nighttime crew would half-ass their dishes and not get them
yeah.
all done.
Remember, they'd always complain about the dishes, but if you actually went back there and did them, you knocked them out in like. If you focus on them, you could knock them out in like 15 minutes.
I mean, as long as your night wasn't too busy, yeah, you could knock out the dishes.
Yeah, most of it was just like really sweeping and mopping and detailing like your countertops, but the biggest thing was pulling the equipment and like also the random things you had to do at night, like cleaning the nozzles on the soda fountains. You remember the everyone would always clean the front nozzles?
But never the drive-through nozzles.
Well, there was like just one drive-through nozzle, and everyone thought that all you did was like flip that the main plastic thing off. But then I would always show them like, no, you have to actually take the inner piece out.
Yeah, because it's like a rubber gasket or
I remember
whatever.
once when I wasn't on overnight, they had to take the inner piece out in like 4 months, and I took it out, and it was just like mold.
Yeah.
And so I was like, now you ruined the flavor of the Coke, because now it tastes fresh, and we got used to the mold taste. And ignorance was bliss, so we didn't know that was happening.
How dare you change your secret recipe?
Yeah. Well, the front nozzles always got replaced because it was like, I don't know why no one thought that the. I was like, yours it's set up just bigger than the front, where it's like, because I was like, the lobby nozzles are just smaller, and you flip them out, and you have to like take the inner piece out.
Yeah, well, the front ones were just like little pop-offs. Like you could unscrew them
The
and
one that drive through is a pop off too. It just for whatever reason it didn't click in anyone's head that it was the same like principle. Just it was a wider one because of it being in the drive through and having it. I was like, it's wider because it has to dispense quicker to get the drinks out faster.
I think it's just more of like people were lazy. People didn't want to take away
No,
from.
that was more of just like because they would actually take the one piece off. I think it just didn't click that
It
there
was
was an
more than just
inner
the one piece.
nozzle until like I showed him once. Cause the one woman who trained me to do it just showed me everything. And I swore I showed the one guy, but I guess somewhere in between they had another person too, and then something got lost, and it never he didn't like remember that.
I don't, I don't know anymore, dude. It's
Yeah, because I had to be on overnights for a year till I got to do. So then I became like the closing manager.
yeah, and then I would be your closing grill manager for a while there, and then when things started getting good on closing, they threw me on overnights.
Thought there was more to accommodate your schedule.
Not really, no. I preferred overnights just because
Yeah,
I liked the overnight like
they just
process, but
they didn't view you as strong for some reason, and I never got why. Because they like to throw like the least, like the not as strong people on overnights. I remember my one buddy was overnights, but that was just because he wanted to. He really didn't want to do he didn't want to do day shift because remember he did day shift once and he like hated it because he's like I'd rather be on overnights where like he's like literally no one bothers you.
yeah.
He's like, yeah, once every like what 6 months, the GM comes in and like throws a hissy fit because Jesus, you didn't do it exactly the way she had in her head.
Yeah.
Even though you've already yelled at us like once and we started pulling the girls every single night. And then once, because they actually started requiring a picture of what the girls look like, I had him pull the girl out, completely spotless detail it. So then we would do it once every other night because I was like, this is ridiculous. It doesn't get that bad.
Yeah.
And then I was like, on the night you're not gonna pull it, just at least stick the mop under there.
Yeah.
Or like when you're doing the shop vac with the actual like with the vacuum,
Yeah.
because we got rid of the automated one. Because we didn't get rid of it because it wasn't good. We got rid of it because it broke all the time.
Are you talking about like the grease trap thing?
No, it was like the push shop vac.
Oh, okay.
It was, but we got rid of it just for like the handheld one. But also, I was like, dude, just put water under there and shove it under the thing on the off nights. That way, it looks like halfway decent.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they're only gonna look from the front.
Yeah, they're not gonna squat down.
And then I took a picture of it to save. So I took actually multiple pictures so I could send them different aspects every night because they would stare at it like you just sent me the same picture. And I had them posed differently in like about 6 different pictures, and I got one of them still on my phone of him smiling.
You should make that the thumbnail for the video.
No, because it shows his face.
You could always blur it out.
Just put X's on his.
Just put X's over his eyes or something.
No, I do. Gotta think of the branding. I keep the picture of us.
You should make an AI generated image with us in McDonald's uniforms. That should be the
I
clip.
guess the only benefit of overnights is that the free. Well, every shift got free food, but you were more. You could be more creative with like how you like went like made your food like with the tortillas and the quesadillas.
Yeah.
You didn't have any. You didn't have to like do it in secret like you did during the day. You had to like hope no one was looking over your shoulder.
Mm-hmm. I mean, what was it? Overnights, honestly, were the best. If we would have been able to get that shift differential for it too, it would have made it even better. Cause
They were actually calming because doing them from like Tuesday, like from like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Sunday night. You literally had like there were most nights you'd have like one weird like rush of people and it would be gone. And I remember there were nights where like nobody showed up and we made like $105.
yeah,
Which didn't act which then they explained where it's like, well, that's why you don't get the shift differential, but I'm like, yeah, but that's not what we're here for. You've told us that. You've said that this is open as a courtesy because it's late and we're actually here just to clean.
pretty much, yeah.
The worst night on overnights would be Saturdays when they decided to just give you one grill person they'd give you a second, but he decided not to show up.
Yeah.
The second grill person was always a pain on those nights because when they'd call, like, it's never really busy. I don't get why they even schedule. I'm like, you're here because it's going to get busy and I need one of you.
We need someone to at least maintain.
And I was like, the idea is one of you is going to the fastest sandwich maker is going to be making the food. You're going to be doing the grill, and one of you is going to have the grills pulled at that time.
Yeah.
Because if I got two of you, the grills have to be pulled that night, and they want them pulled both nights, so I'll acquiesce to it. Big word.
It's your word of the day.
Yeah. So because at that point there's no excuse, and then you can knock the burritos out quick.
I remember after a while they stopped having overnight do the burritos and they'd have like a morning prep person come in and do it.
Actually, now I remember when me and my buddy started, I was on overnights with him, but I was also trained in backcatch, so I could also be on nights in backcatch when the other girl was off. Because he worked 5 days a week, but I got 5 because I could do backcatch the 2 nights the older girl was off, and the other one night was one of his regular nights off, and then 2 were on the weekend.
Yeah.
Because it was like Friday, Saturday would be me and him and the girl together. And then sometimes when the manager would have the system down or things or would need help, I would go up there and like run, but also help him make food. Or like when they'd be in the back doing the system, I would just be up front. That was the only thing I hated about being a crew person. To when I became a manager, I realized the one fat boy that did it. And someone pointed out, I was like, when I got trained is like, it doesn't actually take him. It shouldn't take it like how it takes him like 90 minutes to do it.
It's like a 20, 30 minute
They're
process.
like, he's just milking it. He's not doing anything himself because he would BS us because we wouldn't actually see what he was doing. It's just you'd have to remember it takes like a couple minutes and go back there and hit like no or yes.
Yeah.
But they're like, it doesn't take him 90 minutes to do this.
No, it doesn't.
They're like, it would take him 90 minutes, and then the worst nights with him is where the system would mess up and he'd have to call
Oh yeah, the
you
one eight
call the
hundred
yeah the
number.
1-800 number and have them walk it through it, and then they'd have to take like control of your computer. Those were the best nights for me because then I just got to sit there on the phone.
Yeah. That's another thing though about like pay scale at McDonald's. Like once you got cross trained, you didn't get another raise for that either.
Yeah, it was whack.
I mean, because you're doing the work. You're able to do the work of two people. They would take advantage of that. They would have you be like a runner for like drive through or something,
Yeah.
and they would have you hop onto the second side of the grill area to start helping knock stuff out over there.
Well,
Come back up, run
my
more
thought
orders out.
process on their raise is like, since the quarter raise wasn't a cost of living raise, it was a performance raise,
Yeah,
and they were allotted, I think, from everyone in the store was like 25 times 10 is 250. It was like about $12 in raises. I was like, why don't you incentivize it to where three people are just going to get a really nice raise? I was like, because the way it's set up, like most of this staff is not going to be here in 6 months.
no,
Like, yeah, I was like, the way we pay them now, you're going to lose people at least with $12. It was like if you handed out like a $3 raise to like your four best workers, you'd incent, or I was like, even like $2 to like the six best, that would be an incentive to stay, to where it's like, okay, you started at eight when I got, because after I became a manager, I think the normal minimum wage went up to like 8.25. So I think that's why I got bumped up to 9 eventually, to make like a difference between the shift manager and the regular staff.
regular stuff. Yeah,
I was like, if you told someone they could be $2, they would work their ass off, because then you're telling them, well, yeah, in 4 years you could go from $9 an hour to 17 an hour.
and then
But then they were always like, yeah, but you work at McDonald's. I'm like, yeah, but you're not giving them that because they begged you for it. They're giving them that because they outperformed everybody.
yeah,
And you're not giving it to everybody. And I was like, and if they ever quit, that goes away and you restart from scratch. But I'm like, you still have to give out that raise. And
you have
half
to
the
incentivize people moving
Yeah,
up,
and I
or
was
else
like,
no one's gonna work
and I
hard.
was like, in the way you do it, you give out the person who got the quarter raise. You just end up checking the box anyway. So the person who got the quarter raise is the same as the person who deserved the quarter raise, is the same as the person who didn't deserve the quarter raise. So I was like, what was the real?
What was the real purpose behind doing these
Yeah, I
performance-based
remember
reviews?
one time when I was like at 9, they just, or like 9:25, they just walked up to me. It's like, you know what? For whatever reason, we give the better people a 75-cent raise. Remember, it just happened out of nowhere. I was like at 10.
That's how it wound up at 975.
I think by the time I quit, I was up to 11, which was weird because every customer would complain about the menu prices.
Yeah,
And they're like, oh, we're paying so much, and you people are making like 18 an hour. And I remember at the time, I was like, I only make like 9.25. And like, you're lying. I'm like, no, everyone here makes 9. I was like, maybe the GM makes like what you would make at like a normal job.
yeah,
The GM probably does make 50 to 60, because if she only made 30, that would be the most. That would be that would actually be the worst job in the store.
yeah.
Because yeah, you make probably about 14 grand, 15 grand more than everyone, but you have like the most responsibility. Because you have to like be
You have to be on call.
not on call, but willing to answer your phone at least. Which is why they like me, and I thought I should have got more, because everyone would call me over the GM, because I remember even the one girl who came in, she's like, I call you because they tell me to call you, and she's forgotten everything about overnights. Or they always just tell me to call you for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the way it worked.
Pretty sure that's the way it still works. They're probably not giving out.
But it's also the fact that you were doing like a job that nobody wanted to. Like no one, most of the people didn't even want to do overnights.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you begged someone to do it, it would be like for one night, and then they'd get pissy about it, and then you'd have to hear for the next 3 months how they did it for you. I'm like, dude, you helped me one time.
Well, it's like I remember they trained me in backcast just so they could throw me on
And I
overnights if they
should
needed
have
to.
and I should have got a raise just for convincing people to work a 24-hour shift. That was gaslighting at its finest. I convinced the one girl, the Spanish girl, did we I think I worked a double that day. She started the same time I did. Someone called out at in the afternoon. So she agreed to stay because she only was at like whatever hours for the week. But I think she was going to be off like the next 2 days afterwards. And then it just so happened someone called off on overnight and I could not get a hold of anyone else or no one would agree to do it. And she just like laughed, like, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, come on. You have like the next few days off. You have that big paycheck. It's like, I didn't even bother. I was like, just take all the food you want. I was like, if you eat here and then decide to take food home in the morning and take food home for like
You've worked 3 shifts. You get
I
three
was
free
like, if you
meals.
work, I was like, if you work 3 shifts in a row, you just take home, take enough food to have make you survive the next 2 days at home. Like, I don't care. I can just promo it. You deserved it.
Yeah.
She's like, what? She's like, what? I was like, yeah, I don't care if they get mad at me. You worked 24 hours in a row. And I remember the man at the GM the next morning, like a few of them came in. She's like, why is she still here? I'm like, because no one else wanted to do it, and she said yes, and I agreed to like. Do you know? Someone's like, you know that's illegal. Like, not if she agrees to it. I was like, this is not a DOT job where
You
sleep
have,
is
yeah.
required. I'm like, she can doze off in the back cast all she wants. I was like, I've worked 20 hours worth. Like, yeah, because you're an idiot. I was like, well, she agreed to it
Yeah.
because I think it was 24 hours in a row.
Yeah, because on that opening shift to the next opening shift.
She didn't even drive home. I think I gave her a ride home. I was like, she's not even driving home. And I was like, I ended up having, actually, no, I was there for the close and had to work the overnight because the manager called out and the back catch girl called out.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm giving her a ride home, so it's not like she's going to fall asleep behind the wheel. Problem solved.
Yeah.
It's like it builds character.
Spready, a man of many solutions.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want me to do? Just tell her, no, don't, please don't work this. I was like, I did not want to do two people running a overnight because that's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like, she's over, I think she was like almost 20 at the time. Like, she was like 19. I was like, she's a kid. I'm like, she's 19 years old. She agreed to stay to it.
Yeah. I mean, there's been plenty of times where I've had to do stuff like
I was
that
like,
too.
I think I let her clock off for an hour and she dozed off for a break at one point. And because she's like, I'm going to go back there and sleep, but you have to wake me up. I'm like, don't worry, you're waking up in an hour.
Don't you worry, I'm not gonna let you sleep all night.
Yeah, I told her, I was like, you can have an hour break and just take a nap back there. And then she didn't, I think she was off in like the next 2 days, so it didn't matter. Sleep till 2, wake up, do whatever.
Yeah, no, because I remember there was one time I was doing that. I was working an overnight shift as a manager. No, I was a real person, but I
Yeah.
wasn't manager at the time. And then somebody called out for the next morning shift.
Yeah.
And when the opener came in, they're like, "Listen, do you know?" I was like, "Listen, there's the middle of the night. There was no way for me to get a hold of anyone to like cover your shift for you." I was like, "You can try in the next hour or so until I'm supposed to leave and see if you can get it covered." And they couldn't get it covered, so they're like, "Listen, can you stay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'll stay, but I'm about to get on overtime in the next couple hours here." So I worked for the next like 4 hours until about like lunchtime, and the general manager was like, "Listen, you got to go because you're not gonna get that. We're not gonna give you
That
your."
was actually the best because I would always agree to it because even if it messed with a normal day off, I knew at some point you had to have enough days off for because they refused to give you OT.
Yeah,
But then they started not caring about it. And because you were there long enough, they're like, you know what, forget it. You can have the overtime.
Yeah.
Because remember one time our GM took like a vacation
Mhm.
and she got mad that we had OT, but I'm like, yeah, but your boss, the regional manager, told us it was fine. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, well. She's like, I won't send you home. She's like, since she told you it was okay that you could have the 10 hours. Remember, it was me and you the same week.
Yeah. Both had OT.
She's like, since she told you you can have 10 hours, I guess it's okay. I'm like, well, yeah. She said it was fine. She approved it.
Yeah.
Give me. I got it. I'm making like 700. I was like, my normal checks are like 720. Don't deny me this opportunity.
To bring home like maybe 900.
Yeah, like 900. It's weird because now I bring home way more of that in a week, and that was a 2 week check.
Yeah. A 2 week check. Yeah.
It was $900. I think every other job I've had since then is like, remember working at the other office job, I'd work like 60 hours, but because my base was 14, like, and you're having like 20 hours of OT.
Like $21 an hour.
So I think like the 2 week check actually would be almost after tax like 15, but I get paid way more than that now. But it was like eventually once I left McDonald's, everything went up. So naturally I got the raise.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even because it was a stepping stone, because every other job I've had, I've been as qualified for that as McDonald's. It's just they paid you more for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, good times at McDonald's.
Never a
You
dull.
did a lot, got paid nothing. You're just as skilled as a 50-year-old with no typing skills and no interpersonal skills, and they didn't know how to drag and drop at a office job. But that person thought they deserved more than you because
It's an office job.
it's an
not fast
office
food.
job, and I always ask people if they want to order Chinese. The other job we had was the office job. The best days were Fridays.
Yeah.
Because no, it was every 2 weeks. But remember the Euro place
Yeah.
knew we were getting they knew our pay schedule. Then we start getting paid weekly.
Eventually, yeah, they started changing it to
Then they
weekly.
changed it from 2 weeks to weekly. Because I remember it went from like, yeah, it became weekly, and the guy even said like he even told us like, you guys, one of us, you should have given us a warning about this. Because we're expecting you once every 2 weeks for a good rush. He's like, we don't mind it, but we'd like to know.
We prefer the heads up.
Because he's like, you just all called us last week and then you called us this week, and we wondered, like, did you guys get like a bonus or something? Remember, it was just one girl. It was actually, they had to bring two, and it was just boxes of things, and they had to write everyone's name on it.
Yeah.
And you had to call them either at 10 o'clock on the first break or
11:30 at the second one.
no, there was the first 15-minute break was 10, but you could go out, take a, like, pretend to use the bathroom, and then,
Oh yeah.
because you could go out, you could make a phone call if it was important, but it was important because I had to get my food. Like, if you forgot at 10 or, like, the lines were busy,
Sometimes I'd use my desk phone to call.
oh, I wouldn't, oh, we weren't allowed to do it there. If they caught you doing that where I was, they would have got ticked off at you.
No, I was in the mailroom.
Yeah, they wouldn't,
They didn't really care what I.
well, you guys were allowed to talk. Ours is weird, we weren't allowed to talk.
Yeah. Well, we weren't supposed to talk. We could keep it to like a dull whisper,
Yeah.
but like it wasn't allowed to become like an outrageous like.
It was weird because then they even said, "Oh, you guys can email each other and do that." But then we even did like a group chat, and then the IT saw it and got mad. I'm like, "Why is it this important that?"
Yeah. Well, I remember because me and a buddy that I was with, we would sit across from each other, like on the opposite sides of the partition,
Yeah,
and we would just email back and forth, and then IT got mad at me because my photo for my email wasn't me. It was just like a stock image of something random.
yeah.
But because it wasn't me, it didn't reflect me as an employee at the company. So I got like an email from IT, and I had to change my picture.
Whack.
Yeah. And then I remember we used to do like movie trivia through email. So like it was a chain of us, like four of us on the chain, and we would randomly just do like movie trivia through email.
Did they get mad about that?
No, they didn't care at all. But they cared about my profile picture.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
I guess because I was in like where we were doing data entry, and it was like they wanted you to be working all the time. But there were one times where like you kept track of how like viable or how much work you did. And
Yeah.
as a point system, I was like, there were days where I was viable by the time like the first 10 o'clock break hit.
Yeah.
It's just those days they said you can slow down, but I'm like, those files are so easy. I would just
Burn through them.
I would burn through them because then I'd be viable for the week on a Monday. I think there was once where they're like, you realize you're viable for like the next 2 days. And they're like, if you go at this pace tomorrow, you'll be viable for the week, and then you just take it easy. But it's like they will look at you sideways if you're under viability for the next 3 for some reason. It's like, don't ask why.
We know you've met your requirements for the week, but you still need to meet your daily requirements.
Yeah, but that was why we deserved more money. Pay your workers.
Yeah. You don't overpay, don't underpay.
No,
Find a
it's a free market. If get it how you live. If an OnlyFans model can make 75 grand a year, 100 grand a year, why can't a McDonald's worker? We're just getting metaphorically dicked by the dangled dong of destiny, not the physical one.
I like that. The dangled dong of destiny.
Yeah,
Gonna have to put that on a t-shirt.
yeah. But your Bucks eked out a win last night. I thought they were gonna blow by the Texans. It's like this offense is booty. But then I kept remembering like their defense actually isn't bad.
No, the Texans defense is good. Plus, we had a jangled up O-line.
I don't. Yeah, but the Texans O line looked worse. They made your O line look.
Which is crazy because that's mostly their starting O-line.
Yeah, but I heard the whole offseason that they just had their O line is not good.
And
Like
it showed.
dude, because everyone keeps saying C.J. Stroud was bad. I was like, I don't know. I can't judge if he's bad. They said he was under pressure like 60. The Bucks at one point were winning like 66% of the
reps at the line.
like the battles at the line. I'm like, I don't know if he's better. He just has no time.
I mean, there was a couple times where he could drop back when it was a four-man rush and he'd have time.
Yeah.
But if they brought an extra rusher like that fifth man,
Yeah.
he was moving. He had to move around that pocket a lot.
I just like how a year ago, they were trying to say Stroud was better than Jordan Love, but you can clearly see the difference between the two. Because they're actually in the timeline, they started the same year. But
essentially, yeah.
Well, yeah, because
2 years ago,
C.J. Stroud's rookie year was Jordan Love's fourth, but that was his first year as a starter.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I was just saying, yeah, that actually lines up.
I just remember when Jordan Love first started that first year, everyone gave him crap because it's like, he spent 3 years under Rodgers. I'm like, Rodgers went 6-10 his first year. He made the playoffs his second year, but he didn't become the Aaron Rodgers. He didn't become like the best quarterback in the league till after he won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Because there were games where he really wasn't consistent up until year 4. I'm like, and everyone says like he can sit under Rodgers for 7 years or 10 years, and you can't replicate game experience. Just because he watches them, he has to actually go out there and like play it.
Yeah.
Like you can't replicate the actual
game speed is a real thing. Like,
well, yeah, but just sitting there and learning, it's like okay, but you gotta actually play it and get the reps in as the starter.
Well, that's what I'm saying because like you could do all this stuff in practice with second teamers.
And the Packers look amazing.
You guys' defense. I don't even know if Micah Parsons was the missing piece because your guys' defense was.
Well, no, he is. It's one of those things where I think if he's not in the game. No, because you notice it immediately because they have to double team Parsons, which is why they said our run defense didn't suffer.
I honestly think his new sack celebration is pretty legit too.
What's his new?
He just gets the sack and he just puts up like the one finger since he's number one now.
Oh yeah.
So he just.
Is that Von Miller who did like the little shimmy?
Maybe.
Yeah, I keep thinking him and Von Miller, but I don't think Micah had a sack celebration prior to this year, right?
Yeah, no, this sack celly, I like it.
But no, their defense looks way better because it opened up Luka Van Ness and the rest of the line.
Dude, Rashawn Gary's starting to look pretty dang good too.
Yeah,
coming off that opposite edge.
because now you have to double Micah.
Yeah.
You got to find the Micah and the Micah. Mike and Micah. The 1-800 First Take Hotline.
Micah is the Mike.
But your Gators lost again, but so did my Badgers, but no one expected anything on the Badgers.
People overhyped the Gators for no reason. It's like, oh my god, DJ Lagway was so great last year when he was healthy. Well, the kid missed all of the spring reps. He basically didn't get any playing time until that first game against Long Island University.
Oh, yeah.
Which is basically
Can
Mary
we
School
talk
for
about
the
something
Blind.
about college football? Why do they still schedule those games? I get that you give this other school $1 million, but why? Like, it's bad television.
Well, a lot of these games are scheduled years out.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why do you bother with these mid-tier programs at all?
Well,
I
a lot of
get you need a preseason, but
that's
what are you accomplishing? Like, it says it's like you're getting a preseason, but it's like you're playing a school that barely funds their football program.
that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to essentially be like a tune-up game for your team.
But it's like you could at that point just tune up against the local varsity team. Like, I think they'd get a better tune up if they played like a power high school team.
Like an IMG Academy.
Yeah,
or
because
something
Long
like that.
Island University, you're not even like you're playing like Division 3.
If even.
Yeah, like you're not even like it's like not even because it's like you watch these games, and it's like they don't even put the spreads on some of them because they're absurd. What the spread would be would be like a 90-point spread.
Yeah, I was gonna think there. I don't even think there was a posted spread on
They don't
Hard
even
Rock.
let you bet some of those games until it's like live. But yeah, that was the football recap. What about the news? What about all this? You like you like how now it's just the internet's in like a war with each other?
The internet's always been at war with each
Yeah, but
other.
I'm like, you ever find it weird when if you talk to people where you work now, if you ask them, do you know anything that Trump's doing or anything that happened in the news, they just tell you no? Because I get it at my job.
I don't really talk to anybody at my job.
I'm
It's
saying
more
if you
like
ever bring this up, they don't know what any of this is you're talking about. I find it weird because the internet's having like, particularly like Twitter and particularly mostly Twitter and like a Facebook post from like a random uncle where it's like they're having a culture war online that the rest of society is just not aware of because my mom and grandma was like watching all this in the news and like I don't know who any of these people are, but apparently they're mad, but I've never heard any of this.
never heard of any of these people.
I was like, I've never heard of any of these people, and I don't get what these talking points are because I don't go online. Because now you're finding out all the big like talking points that actually politicians care about are on X, the Everything app.
I don't even really use X like that. I just have it.
Yeah,
for-
but I'm beginning to realize like everything that's being described on X because Elon views it as a town hall. There's only like I think like not even 100 million. There's something less than like 50 million American users, and most of them might be bots.
Yeah.
So you're just finding out most of the society doesn't even know what the hell you're talking about, and you're having like a culture war with everyone online, and everyone's having a meltdown on each other. But all the rest of society is just like completely oblivious, and you're about to bring like a protest to a city that doesn't know what happened.
Yeah.
No, because it makes you think half of society is mad at each other until you realize no, just half of Twitter's mad at each other. The other 75% are like blissfully ignorant to this, and I envy them.
I wish I was ignorant.
But yeah, that's been today's reality, the Based Reality podcast.
Coming at you weekly from the car or maybe from a couch.
We are in a simulation, and we are based. Peace.
Peace.